Hi, this is Bobby Brown, and welcome to another fucking podcast.
My liver's all twisted up. But you know what I did? I loaded up with alcohol, more specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Who wants an orange whip? Orange whip? Orange whip? 3 orange whips.
So you're bored, are ya? I've come here to break your monotony. Let me have my piece, because I'm shooting with this one, folks. I don't care, man. The unscripted, uncensored, loose cannon of commentary.
Why did you say that? Why? What? You come out with stink like that? Poop. Your poop mouth. Poop out of your mouth.
See, son? Old legends never die. They just lose weight.
Like a legend and an out-of-work bum look a lot alike, Daddy.
I've got a midget friend, an albino friend, and another friend who thinks Lord of the Rings is real. Together we call ourselves the Unfuckables.
Quinton is in. Let the fun begin.
Body touch.
You guys are an asshole, man.
I've never heard of that.
Drummer in the background.
Hello, Hollywood. Hello, world. Hello, my loyal minions. It is good to see you, and it's always good to be seen. My name is Izzy Presley. This is another fucking podcast, Drunken Summit style, and go figure, we are talking about Kiss again. Oh, it's going to be a doozy. Got an amazing panel lined up. Before we get into that, make sure you guys hit up all the social media at Real Izzy Presley, all the way across the board, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And of course, the show page on Facebook is another effing podcast. If you like what I do, hit like, subscribe on iTunes, on YouTube, and all that kind of good shit. And also on Spreaker, because if you subscribe on Spreaker, you can get in the chat room, and there's already people in the chat room as we are talking. If you like what I do, if you want to donate to the show, izzypresley@yahoo.com is your PayPal. Very, very easy. Such a lot of great merch available. Hit that buy now link. You know how to do all that shit. But the case in point here is we are talking about Kiss, and I have this fucking panel lined up thanks to the great Paul Gargano from Metal Edge Magazine. Welcome back. Pretty much turning into my co-host on these bad boys. It's good to see you again.
Good. Thank you. It's good to be back.
First timer, Charlie Benante of Anthrax. Welcome.
What? Oh, hi. How are you?
Hi. How you doing? My cruise buddy Mike. Do not call him Mark Portnoy is here. Dream Theater and the Winery Dogs. Yes. Oh yes. And
that's awesome. Love the Gene mask.
Is it Mayorga?
That's correct.
I did it. I was worried I did it. From Stone Sour. Welcome everybody.
How you doing,
dude? I'm fucking.
Hola.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
It's harder to breathe in that thing than a COVID. Holy shit! Wow, that should have been like the COVID thing. I'm surprised Kiss didn't sell these for COVID actually.
Yeah, with the actual mask underneath it embedded. Yeah.
That's a really good mask, man.
Oh man,
that's a really good one.
You have to use the tongue to get it on and off though. That's like.
That's what he said.
This is going to be really tough. Because these 3 albums are all fucking great, and
the only thing harder than doing these 3 albums would be the next 3 albums. The second 3.
Mike, it's funny you say that because we did Love Gun versus Rock and Roll Over.
Oh, but you have to have the 3-way: Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun. The way these 3 are tied together, those 3 are always tied together too.
Absolutely.
Who won? What won? Rock and Roll Over?
Rock and Roll Over won.
Of course it did.
Of course it did. No, Love Gun won. Or was it Love Gun? Oh, do you remember?
I wasn't on that one.
You weren't? Oh, fuck.
Nope. I don't remember. I mean, I wasn't on it, but I don't remember. If I was on it, I would remember. Whoa.
No, I think Love Gun. I can't remember. I don't know. That was
Mike's ready, man. He's got everything going. He's ready.
That was a lot. Izzy, that was a lot of whiskey ago for you.
Yes, a lot of whiskey. My liver. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh shit, he is here. He's almost here. We'll keep it going while he's connecting. But
while he's connecting,
one of my favorite stories about getting into Kiss was Bryn from Flip. He saw the original album in Columbia House before it came out, and he ordered it just because they, what they looked like. I want to know what was it about Kiss? What brought you in originally?
Oh,
anyone?
Go, Charlie.
Charlie, yeah, you got the first album out. Was it the first record?
No, this wasn't the first record I ever got from Kiss. The first time I heard them was Hotter Than Hell, and our friend down the street from us in his basement used to play records. Everybody used to go there, and he was playing Hotter Than Hell, and I heard it and thought it was really cool, but I loved the cover better than the music.
Mike, what about
this reminded me of the Beatles. The Beatles, with the Beatles.
Yeah,
that was the intention with that, right? That was supposed to remind people of the Beatles. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
but yeah. Anyway,
I got mine here too.
Nice.
Oh, look who it is!
Edward has arrived.
Yeah.
Do we start all over
up here? And
do we start all over now?
Yeah, that's how we start the show.
Hey,
By the
Eddie.
way,
hey guys, Roy, Mike, Charlie, Paul, Izzy.
Cheers.
It's like
Ed,
it's
you're
like
too
romper
late,
room
Ed.
roll call.
Did I miss all the action?
Well, we already determined Animalize is the winner.
Hey, is Jericho here?
No, Jericho is not involved because this is Makeup Kiss.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing a radio show next week on my show because Jericho's doing all those 80s covers. So I'm actually doing a special next week where I'm going to rank the non-original lineup records, and Jericho is actually going to co-host it with me. So we're throwing him a bone next week.
Nice. I don't
and
know.
He actually said to me, he actually said when I talked to him about it, he goes, "Yeah, Charlie and Mike are not going to be of any help on that one."
It was really,
None at all. None at all.
I hit him up about this, and knowing that I know he's not a Makeup Kiss fan, but I hit him up on this, and he texted me back, and he might get pissed at me for saying this publicly, but he goes to me, "I only own one of the first 3 Kiss albums."
Wow.
And all I thought to myself was, no wonder you like non-Makeup Kiss more. You don't have the Makeup Kiss records. That's the only thing.
I thought he knew and liked the makeup stuff, but not, he came in on the 80s, but I thought he was more down with it than that. You know, over the summer, Mike came to my beach house and we had a great fun late night. And during our jam of playing different music, he was playing the old Van Halen outtakes and stuff. I tried to bring him over to 80s Kiss. Remember, Mike? And I played you some 80s Kiss for the first time, and you were like on the fence on some of it.
We determined, I knew before that evening that it ended at Dynasty for me. And that evening even confirmed it. But we listened to some stuff on Dynasty that I remembered that was better than I remembered it. But that's where I fall off. I mean, I saw them all through the 80s and 90s, but so much of young fans today, they don't get it because they weren't there. If you were there, if you were our age in the 70s, it was like a religion. You know, Kiss was more than just a band. It was like they were superheroes to us. So unless you lived it, and I guess Jericho's an example of somebody that really didn't live it back then, it's hard for a lot of younger people or today's generation to understand how Kiss impacted all of us. You know, it was life-changing.
Well, he's younger than us. That's why.
Yeah, totally.
This is also why Criss is so good at what Criss does. He doesn't come on the podcast, and he's still the only thing we talk about.
Well, it's funny because like Criss is around my age, and I got into Kiss at a very young age. I think I got Destroyer when I was 4, and it was over. But there was a part of time. There's like a time where I got out of it, and then I got back into it in the mid 80s again.
I never got out of it. I was in from the minute I got my first record, which was Destroyer, when Rock and Roll Over was out. Rock and Roll Over was the new album. My first album, I bought the previous one, Destroyer. But from that point, I was all in on everything through the farewell tour, the real farewell tour. And then once they started with the, impersonation stuff, I've been out ever since. But from about 2001 back, I'm all in. I could talk any lineup, any record.
Wow.
So, Eddie, I have a question. When you say real farewell tour, are you talking about the real one that hasn't happened yet, or the real one is the one that was supposed to be the real one that actually wasn't the real one?
The one that was supposed to be the one that then they revised to tell you it was really just the farewell to Ace and Peter, which we didn't know until after we spent our thousands of dollars.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the Kiss farewell / Ozzy No More Tours co-headliner, where we just know they're both coming back anyway.
I saw the Who's farewell tour 40 years ago. I think it was okay, 39 years ago. It was 82, I guess that would have been. And that was their farewell tour. And then I saw them again just like 2 years ago. So, almost 40 years between farewell tours.
Ozzy's farewell tour was 92. No More Tours tour, 92, 30 years ago.
Yep.
And stuff.
Yep. But my introduction to Kiss, it was that Larger Than Life Super. Alive 2 was the first record I ever bought with my own money. So that was it for me. And I never got to.
Paul. You got to tell them how you got that Kiss Alive 2 album back. You lost it.
The Kiss Alive 2 album, I actually lost the booklet from the album. So what happened, all the bedrooms in the house I grew up in are at one end of the house, and the kids, I have three younger brothers and sisters. We all had our own bathroom. We had a bathroom that we all shared. And for some reason, the Kiss Alive 2 album ended up in the bathroom with me. And I don't remember why. Like, we don't have to go into sick, disgusting type. It was, I went in there to wash my hands or something. I don't know. I put the album down, and I think we're all vinyl people on here. I put the album down.
Not me. Don't get him started. Beautiful CDs. Last forever. Sound great. No flipping, no cleaning. Last forever. Digital, physical, booklet, packaging.
You got to hear the rest of the story.
All right, so I put the vinyl down, and the book slid out of the sleeve and went down the side of the wall. So the book got stuck in between the sink that was attached to the wall. It slid between the crack, and I tried coat hangers. I tried everything to get that book out from in between the wall and the sink, and I couldn't do it. And I was like 11 years old, 12 years old. Could not do it. All right, I'm pushing 50 right now. I'm 49. Early last year, I was on the phone with my mother, and she tells me, "Oh yeah, the guys are coming to demo your bathroom." And I go, "Wait, what do you mean demo my bathroom?" And she goes, "They're going to demo your bathroom. We're redoing, now that you guys are all out of the house, we're going to redo the bathroom." And I went, "Wait, they haven't started demo yet?" And she goes, "No." And I said, "Don't let them start yet." And she's like, "What?" I said, "When they take the sink out, they have to be very, very careful." And she's like, "Why?" I go, "My Kiss Alive 2 book is in the wall in between." And my mom literally must have thought I was out of my mind. She's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Back when I was 11, the book fell out of the..." She has no idea what I'm talking about. I finally convinced her to go tell the crew. And literally an hour later, she texts me and she goes, I can't remember the guy's name that was the foreman. He goes, "He said you owe him concert tickets." And she sends me a picture. The book was in perfect condition.
Wow.
It was perfectly preserved in between the sink and the wall. And they demoed it very carefully, and I now have the book. Yeah, if there wasn't a dog on my lap, I could go grab it. But the book. So my book is now reunited with my Kiss Alive 2 album.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What's amazing about Kiss is no matter where you are as a fan, it's always incredible to me because I love a ton of bands. Of course, we all do, but Kiss is like the one band that you always remember these stories about, that's like these benchmarks in your life that you just remember all this little stuff that was surrounding you, whether it was in school or at home, or how you got the record, or who you were with, or when you heard it. I got that. Nice.
Yeah.
Were you at that show?
Yeah, December 14th, 77. That was
the last night. I was at 16th.
No, the 14th was the first. No, you were at the third one.
16th, yeah. Charlie, were you there?
I was there.
Which night?
I don't remember. I think it was the first night.
I saw Piper open.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Piper. No, actually, we saw Piper, and then what was the other band?
New England.
No, New England.
That was 79.
No, that was 79.
No, Judas Priest. Judas Priest was 79. When I saw Kiss on the Dynasty tour, it was Judas Priest.
No, the first time the Dynasty tour went out, they had New England, and then the second leg they had Judas Priest, because Judas Priest played the Nassau Coliseum with Kiss.
I was at that show. Yeah,
and that's the night that for me, Priest were just like, that is it.
Yeah, that was. I mean, Kiss were at that point, Kiss were starting to appeal to the kids. And I mean, that's when I said earlier, I checked out a Dynasty, but I really did. I liked the Elder still, and I liked Creatures of the Night. So, I mean, I stayed with them a little bit, but really Dynasty was when my fanaticism kind of changed. And that's when I started listening to like Priest and Motorhead and AC/DC and that kind of stuff.
See, I was one of those kids.
Were you at the Palladium? Because in '80, I was at the Palladium.
I was there.
Were you there, Mike?
No, that was Eric's first show, right?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't there.
That's awesome.
I always tell the funny story about that show. It's the first time I met Mark Weiss was at that show.
Oh wow!
Because I would always see Mark Weiss in Circus Magazine, and we were in the front of the Palladium where everybody was just hanging out, and Mark Weiss came walking up with Matt Dillon of all people. And
oh wow,
I know, it's just weird. And then I knew Matt Dillon from the movie Over the Edge. I don't know if anybody has ever seen that movie.
Yeah.
I love Matt Dillon. He's such a rebel. And we were talking, and Mark Weiss gave me a copy of the new Circus magazine, and he remembers that story too. He remembers being in the front with Matt Dillon.
Wow. I think Rock and Roll All Night, I think, was on the Over the Edge soundtrack. I think. I remember Van Halen was on there and Hendrix, but I also
Cheap Trick.
Yeah.
See, I didn't get to see him live until Hot in the Shade was my first one.
Oh my God!
Well, I did. I mean, I'm 48. I'm younger than everybody.
Well, like I saw a guy wearing a T-shirt recently, and it said, "I may be old as hell, but at least I saw a lot of cool shows." So
yeah, right.
Wow.
Well, it's funny. It's like Kiss fans. I mean, we're easy to troll, much like Rush fans are. But I was trolling Kiss fans the other day. I'm like, I know you try to get all these, these Kiss cool points by pretending that you love Unmasked and The Elder. Stop lying, because they're terrible. They're terrible.
I love The Elder, man. I
actually like both of those records.
I love The Elder.
Unmasked is a great power pop record.
But they really blew naming that album Unmasked. So, because really Lick It Up should have been called Unmasked, obviously, when they actually did do it. They prematurely gave that one away.
You know what sucks about those two records, Dynasty and Unmasked, is the production.
I love it. I think it's so crisp. I think it's so crisp sounding. I like it.
It doesn't sound like Kiss.
No, but I mean, for what it is, I think it's great, actually. But
my favorite production always has been Rock and Roll Over, and also that's because that's my first record by them. But there's something about the sound of Rock and Roll Over. It still stands. It's got
Eddie Kramer,
really big drum sound. The guitars sound great on it. I mean, it's in between Destroyer and Love Gun, which are very highly, really big produced records. But that record just sounds somewhere in the middle. It's totally raw.
That was recorded in a theater next to where I used to live in Rockland County. I lived in. That was recorded, I think, in
Nanuet Star Theater.
Exactly, and I lived in Nanuet for like 7 years, but it was right in that theater. Yeah.
And that's the sound of that room I'm talking about. Then
I love Roy. I love that record and the sound too. It's and I'll tell you what, I was interesting because Rock and Roll Over was the new record when I got my first Kiss record. And
me too.
Yeah, so I was 12 and I got it because my friend was already into them and he was going to get Rock and Roll Over. And he said to me, I don't know how this is because this is the new album. You should buy the one before because it's great. So that's why I got Destroyer first. But it wasn't until years later, I read a book recently all about Destroyer. And I didn't realize this because I didn't live the Destroyer era. But there was huge backlash, as big of a record as Destroyer was, to Destroyer because of the production, the orchestration, the choir. Yeah. So even though Destroyer was a huge landmark record, they felt like they had to get their hardcore fan base back. And that's what Rock and Roll Over was, a reaction to the way they sounded live.
Got it.
Which is why Ezrin didn't do the second record, didn't do another record with them.
It's funny. The reason why I got Kiss, I got Rock and Roll Over is because actually I saw Destroyer first because my brother walked past me with it with his friends coming home from school, and I'm like followed my brother behind him to go, listen to this record. And he turns around, like, get away, kid. Let's give you Nightmare. I'm like, no. What's up? I saw these cartoon monsters go past me on the record. I'm like, that's that's great. So I remember putting my ear to the opening of the door, and I can hear God of Thunder for the first time. I'm like, this band is fucking phenomenal. Right. So then begged my mom to get me a Kiss record. I didn't know which one it was. So then later that year, which was Christmas, my brother got me Rock and Roll Over, and here's the picture from it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
I took the sticker, automatically put the sticker on my kick, man.
Wow.
Oh, that's great.
So you were playing drums
I can remember right there, I was probably playing to I Want You, which is the first track off the record.
So you were playing drums before you heard Kiss?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Charlie, and we got 3 drummers here. Charlie and Mike, what about you guys? Was it Kiss that got you into it, or were you already?
It was the Beatles.
I mean, I agree with that. I heard the Beatles first because my mom and my dad, that's what they listened to. And they listened to a lot of Motown music and a lot of soul at the time. So like between 70, 75, 74, I was listening to mostly that. But then I found Kiss because of my brother walking past me with his friends with the album. And then after that opened the whole gateway to hard rock for me. I mean, from there I got into Zeppelin and into Sabbath and so on. But Kiss was like the band, for me, right then and there. It's a really important record to me, this one.
Yeah, I was already playing drums. I started on like Beatles, Zeppelin, Who, Stones, but I got my first real drum set in '78, and that was like when I was in full on Kiss mode. So yeah, I mean, I found this picture earlier. It's me dressed up as Ace.
Wow.
We need to put all these pictures together.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, right.
But I was, when I got my first drum set, I was like basically playing all the Kiss songs. And at that period, around '78, Peter Criss was it for me. He was like my new drum hero for all those years. But I started listening to them around when Alive came out, and I didn't get to see them till '77. But I immediately went back and bought the originals.
Me too.
Nice.
And this
I always wanted that.
This was the vinyl that like introduced me to the first 3 albums, and then but then I was on board from that point on.
Yeah.
Hey Mike, that record, does it say second printing in the corner or no?
Yeah, it's the second printing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's if the first printing is if it doesn't say that, it's worth even more.
Yeah.
I actually have that on sealed 8-track.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I got it in the room. I could show it to you.
Don't tell John 5.
No, you know
Charlie's got it, but it's signed.
No second printing. Wait, is that the Japanese? Charlie, is that the one of the originals too?
No, it's the one.
And it's
signed.
signed.
Originals too. That was Japan only.
There's always a record ring on that.
I got almost the whole Kiss catalog on 8-track.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. I had when I was in high school, I had a 77 Cougar XR7 that had an 8-track player in it, and I had the Destroyer 8-track, and I had the Rock and Roll Over 8-track. And one morning, it was fucking Minnesota. It was cold as shit, and it 8 Destroyer. I'm like, it had to just be the 8-track. Let's try this one.
Oh, yeah.
It fucking 8 Rock and Roll Over, like both of them within 5 minutes. Well, let me ask you guys this. I mean, you guys talked about Ringo. Who do you think's more underrated as a drummer, Ringo or Peter?
Well, I guess underrated, you'd have to say Peter, because Ringo, as much as people give him shit for not being a great technical drummer, which I don't believe in, by the way. I totally don't agree with that. But at least, but Ringo is at least acknowledged as Ringo and one of the most influential drummers of all time. Whereas I don't think Peter gets that credit. I mean, I know I always cite him. Charlie will cite him. Roy, Brian Tishy. There's a lot of us that love Peter and grew up on him and give him that credit. But I think generally he's very, very underrated.
I have to agree with you on.
I mean, if you listen to the solo on Alive 100,000 Years, it's amazing.
He's got a bass shifter in his solo. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's Eddie Kramer's trick. He puts the phaser on his solo to make it more interesting. But every 70s band did that, But I think the problem with Peter is that after Alive and like Rock and Roll Over, I felt like he didn't push himself anymore to, he just played whatever was good for the song, and that was it. But he definitely had he definitely had the best snare drum tones on certain songs, though.
Do you think that was just a shift to where the music was going, though? Because I mean, those first 3 records, which we're going to get into, obviously, there's a swing to a lot of those songs, and there was no swing after that.
I think they were still hungry for those albums. Then once, you know, Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun, they became one of the biggest bands in the world, and probably was less inspiring and less hungry. But another thing about Peter you can't forget about is his vocals. I mean, we're going to get into these albums, but the first album especially, I mean, he's singing a lot of lead vocals. And Eddie mentioned earlier, I spent a weekend with him this summer, and we just nerded out on this stuff. And I played for him and Don Jameson this amazing bootleg of them from Long Island playing a club in Amityville in like 1973. And Peter is singing on a lot of that stuff, even stuff that Paul or Gene ended up singing on the album. But Peter was still like one of the lead singers back in those early days.
Is that the Fried Alive concert? The bootleg?
It's I don't have a name on it, but it was from Amityville, the Daisy in Amityville.
Yeah.
And they
I had
doing
that Fried Alive out on vinyl when I was a kid. I remember that.
Oh wow!
Didn't it open with a drop from a Clint Eastwood record or something?
Yeah.
Movie?
Did he fire 6 shots?
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
Dirty Harry. Yeah.
And you felt like you had that, and it was like felt like such contraband. Like, well, I hope I don't get busted with this because it's a bootleg.
I love bootlegs. I used to send away from them. They used to come and I'd be like, this is it, Kiss.
The sound was so bad though. That Fried Alive sounded like it was in a tin can. It was so
Which
bad.
one? Which
Fried
one?
Alive sounded like it was in a tin can. The best part about it was the clip from the movie that started it.
Well, the first Kiss show I saw, December 77, that we talked about, I bootlegged it myself. I brought in a tape recorder, and I remember they opened with "I Stole Your Love." Yeah, it was totally like rerun out of What's Happening.
Yeah, you beat me to it. I was waiting for the part.
But here was the worst thing, though. I didn't charge the batteries before the concert, so the batteries were dying. So when I listened back to the tape, it's like starting to speed up and go fast and stuff. But it was, it was a magical moment to be in that audience. And, I was like 11 years old and the whole place smelled like pot smoke. And my mom was smoking a joint with the guy sitting next to us, and just seeing the big Kiss logo up there, before they went on, it was just, goosebumps.
Magic. It was magic.
Now, did you go to a lot of shows before that one?
The only other shows I had seen before that, I saw Paul McCartney and Wings in 76, and I saw George Harrison in 74. But those were like George and Paul were my first real rock concerts, but then Kiss was my first like hard rock metal.
It's crazy that you had the foresight to bring a tape recorder and tape the show and
Well, I did that with everything back then, because before we had VHSs and stuff like that, I would literally go to the movies. I'd go see like Yellow Submarine or the Rocky Horror Picture Show or Clockwork Orange. I'd go to the movie theaters and tape record it just so I could kind of watch the movie at home and listen to the movie, because that was all we had back then.
Yeah.
Like the original bootlegger.
All right.
You know what's weird? I guess Mike and Charlie, because I'm going to you guys because you're local like me. You're in New York, New Jersey, but
Roy was too. Roy was a New Yorker too.
And I was
in fact,
Connecticut.
the three drummers here are from the boroughs that make up Kiss. Think about it.
I didn't realize that, Roy.
Wow. Yeah, I knew Roy back then in New York.
And Roy, how old are you?
I'm 50.
So you're younger. So you definitely wouldn't have been there. And Charlie, I think you're. How old are you?
I was at the first show. The first Kiss show I was at was the Nassau Coliseum in '76, maybe, or '77. But it wasn't my first concert. My cousin would take me to. He took me to see David Bowie. That was my first concert ever.
Wow. Because there was a Kiss show. There was a Kiss show in Jersey City in '76. At Roosevelt Stadium. That's a pretty legendary concert. It was a Rock and Roll Over tour. So
no, it was Destroyer. It was Destroyer.
Was it Destroyer?
Yeah, because they had a different stage.
Because I know people that were at that show, and it's amazing to think they were playing a stadium in New Jersey like that early on.
Well, they played Anaheim Stadium on that tour too. So they were looking at bigger venues, but But at that time, the Kiss following was they were getting really big at that point. You know, after Alive, I mean, they blew up.
Yeah.
And maybe we should start talking about these records.
Yes, yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Right
Talking
after
about
this,
everything but.
Right after this, first half of the show brought to you by Beater Amplification. That's 2E's beateramplification.com. 100 watts of testicular fortitude, 3 channels, hand-wired, hand-built. These things are fucking badass. Hit them up, beateramplification.com. That's 2E's. Also hit them up on Facebook. And our good friends over at Mackie. If you want to get into podcasting or home recording, they have a very affordable way to do it. The studio bundles. God, just for a couple $100, you get a mic, you get an interface, you can get going right away. Very easy. Mackie, Mackie. Yes, the first 3 records. Before we dive into them, let me ask you guys this: do you like the versions on Alive, or do you prefer the studio versions?
Alive.
Yeah. That's a Zach Morris no-brainer.
Well, first of all, I mean the production is better on Alive. We're gonna talk about it, but I think the production, especially on the first 2 albums, is pretty bad. Especially Hotter Than Hell. I think the production is the snare sounds like a piece of paper. But I mean, Dressed to Kill has a much better production. But as far as comparing it to the Alive versions,
ironically, wasn't the one
more energy?
Yeah.
Wasn't Dressed to Kill the one that they didn't even bring a producer in? Wasn't it? Didn't
Neil
Bogart?
Bogart.
Yeah, Bogart
Neil
did
Bogart.
that himself because they couldn't afford a producer.
I mean, he didn't really do anything. I think that record really was the way, and I think Dressed to Kill is a great sounding record. And that record is actually it's Dave Whitman, who was the engineer on it, who engineered a ton of Kiss records. And I think Bogart was like, he ran the label, so he put his name on it, and they co-produced it. But he didn't really. It was really Dave Whitman. I think that was the first time he worked with Kiss, was why that record sounds that way.
But not only is the live album sound better, but I think the versions are cooler. Like Rock and Roll All Night, you have the guitar solo, which doesn't even exist on the studio version. And
which I got into an argument with Ace about that, because he swore to me that he did do a solo on the studio version. It was the most insane thing, one of my many insane stories with Ace. But he swore, he goes, "What are you talking about?" I go, "You didn't do a solo on the studio version." He had no clue.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe he did do it.
It just didn't make the record.
Right.
Just didn't make it. Yeah.
But then you have the live version of She, which is cooler. You have the live version of 100,000 Years with the drum solo.
Better.
You have Strutter has an extra intro for 2 instead of 1. But everything about the live versions were better than the studio versions.
Yeah, well, it's like
Rock Bottom too. The Rock Bottom with the whole intro.
I have this Ace Frehley band called ACK, a tribute to Ace Frehley, and we do She, but of course we do the fucking Alive 1 version because it's just so much fucking more badass. Speaking of Hotter Than Hell, see, you talk about the production on that. I like the production on that because I think it makes it sound heavier.
Actually, I think the remastered version of that record sounds even better. They did something to it. It sounds bigger to me.
It's just the drum sound kills it for me. The drum sound is just really, really hard to listen to.
Yeah, my understanding about that and what I've read is that because they thought the first record sounded so thin, they used the same guys, and then the same guys just decided that to make it sound thicker and heavier, they were just going to try to make everything louder, and it just became this kind of compressed mess. But the musicians that are here on the bottom rung here with Roy and Mike and Charlie, I don't know engineering talk and studio talk, but what is that? Is that just a bad mix? I mean, what causes a record to sound like that? Is it badly recorded? Was it badly mixed? That's there's 2 records I'd most like to see remixed, and that's one of them. And ironically, the only Kiss record that's been totally remixed since it came out is Destroyer, which absolutely didn't need to be touched. But Hotter Than Hell would be a great candidate for it. But why does that record sound like that from a recording standpoint? Where does the blame fall on that?
To me, it's.
You know what I think it is?
Like the drums were done, and then.
Charlie, you go first, and then Roy.
Sorry.
I think the drums may have been bounced. Maybe they didn't have enough tracks at the time, but that's what it sounds like to me. They just sound really compressed, and definitely don't sound like the first album drums, because those sound like drums. Those sound like Peter's drums. But the second album, something went wrong with the mix. The cymbals, it just doesn't sound very, very well.
Also, let me add to that. Just listening to it again, like a lot today, I also always thought this. I always thought they slowed the tape down a little bit because the drums sound a lot thicker than normal. And you can hear it in the tuning, especially on the Hotter Than Hell song. It just sounds like they slowed it down, the tape a little bit.
So it's funny you said that.
And then tracked vocals over it. You know what I'm saying?
The thing that Zeppelin would do, if you listen to No Quarter on the Zeppelin, what's the fifth record?
House of the Holy.
House of the Holy. No, yeah, it's House of the Holy. They sped up the tape, so when you play it back, it's slower, and the drums, the tape saturation, that everything gets really like saturated. So it's
I can hear that. Yeah,
that's what Zeppelin used to do. That was their trick.
That's probably what they did on this, but didn't exactly get that.
But it didn't work.
Hey, Charlie.
Right.
Charlie,
but the cover makes up for it.
Charlie, when you guys did Parasite, did you do that in standard tuning? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was in standard tuning. Yeah,
because I was.
A funny story about that, just real quick. When we did that, we did that at Electric Lady in New York, and Gene came down and to Electric Lady and hung out with us and sang on it too, and fucking kicked our ass in ping pong. like what just happened here?
And by the way, Charlie, I don't know if you remember, but I sang on it too.
And Ed Trunk sang on it.
I did.
But Ed didn't play ping pong.
No, but I sang on the I sang in the chorus with everybody, and I did that. And the other one I'm on is Friggin' in the Riggin'. Those were my two
Friggin' in the Riggin'
with Anthrax.
Nice. The reason I asked, because I was eating with Joey on the Mega Cruise, and I figured it was in standard. I'm like, you realize because he's not a Kiss guy. He didn't know that he sang that a half step up from the from the original.
Wow.
He would have known it if it was a Journey song.
Exactly.
By the way.
So, so before we get into this, do we have any predictions of who do you think, where do you think it's going to go?
I don't see how the first album can't win. That's my personal opinion.
I think the first one's going to win.
It's not my favorite. My favorite, I won't say which it is, but the first one is not my favorite of these three. I mean, but it's not like we vote, right? It's all based on the points.
All based on points.
Well, I will be keeping score as we go, and it's interesting. How
so
it works.
Everybody listening at home wondering how this is going to get figured out. So it's
including me, because I don't know what I'm doing.
It's track versus track versus track, all the way down, and you're going to rank them. So 1, 2, and 3. The first vote gets 3 points. That's how we're doing it, Paul?
Yeah. So basically, like, we'll throw out the first one: Strutter, Got to Choose, and Room Service. And if for me, Strutter's first. So Strutter, I would basically rank, and I'll be keeping score for everybody. I'd go Strutter, then the second song, third song. My first place song gets 3 points. My second place song gets 2. My third gets 1. And then in the end, we add up all the total points, and whatever album has the most points is the grand champion. And it won.
I never realized until looking at this that all 3 of them are 10-song albums, and they're all about 30 minutes each. I mean, those albums are so
literally
short.
You could listen to all 3 of these albums faster than you could listen to this podcast.
Wow.
Yeah. It's absolutely true.
And they all came out. They all came out within like 18 months.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Then you throw Alive in there too. Yeah, it's nuts. Just the speed at which these records came out. But that's one of the things that, like, when Izzy and I are going all over what ideas do we have, we got to sit and look at how the songs match up, because otherwise you're going, what was the one we did when it was Revenge versus, was it Revenge Creatures, where we just took God Gave Rock and Roll to You off of it so we can make them count?
No, I think it was Car Jam we took off. I think it was Car Jam.
One of them, we just removed a song to make it work.
Right.
Do you know offhand if Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, and Love Gun are all equal songs? Does anybody know offhand? I mean, I guess I can look it up here, but
I know Love Gun.
There's 10 songs.
Yeah, Love Gun and Rock and Roll Over are. I don't know about Destroyer.
I mean, the interesting thing is, technically, Kiss was only 9 songs until they added Kissing Time.
Isn't there 4 songs on the first side of Destroyer?
Yeah. Destroyer's
And
9.
then
I'm
There's
looking
9.
No, Destroyer's,
but what about
Destroyer's 9, Rock and Roll Over's 10, and Love Gun's 10.
Yeah,
But
Right.
here's how you can make Destroyer 10. Count that piece at the end that they tack on of those sound effects.
The weird backwards piece. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually as
Or-
a title.
or
That's actually as a title, that thing.
Or the intro,
Rock and Roll Party.
Yeah.
or the intro to Detroit Rock City. I always found it incredible that they opened up an album with like 3 minutes of sound effects, and didn't give Detroit Rock City its own ID.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny. Going to the chat room. Sarah says, I found out this topic like 4 hours ago and had a chance to listen to all 3 albums before I sat down to listen to this. So yeah, there you go. Rob, who works with Killer Dwarf, said he's heading out. Russ says hello, and Eddie and tell Mike P greetings from the travel guy from the Toronto Sun show, or the towel guy from the Toronto Sun show. He will remember. He will remember. There's that. And
You got drop. You do drops.
oh yeah, did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Oh.
You got kiss. You got kiss drops.
No, I've got that. I got that. I got what else do we got? That may be used later on.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And of course,
But the
Pat
hoser
Fontaine.
one is for the hoser.
Yeah.
The hoser one's every time Canada comment.
Yep. Anyways, so here, let's do this. Are you guys ready to get into this shit?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Use your chance to throw a whiz, take a break. I've got 2 minutes commercials. We'll be right back, and we will get into the throwdown. It's another fucking podcast. Charlie Benante, Roy, Mayorga, Mike Portnoy, Eddie Trunk, and of course, my co-host, Metal Edge Magazine, Paul Gargano. It is another fucking podcast.
Vinny Tortorich here. Hey man, if you're a fan of Izzy, you might be a fan of me too. I'm the guy that gets people to lose a lot of weight. I have something free for you guys. This is no clickbait. Just go to VinnyTortorich.com and there's a big banner. It's a free PDF, how to lose weight. It's an intro guide to NSNG at VinnyTortorich.com. Go check it out exclusively for anyone who listens to Izzy Presley. Thank you.
RockstarLeatherworks.com is your home for badass rock and roll gear. Featuring 100% handmade leather bands, watches, cuffs, bracelets, and more, Rockstar Leatherworks has something for everybody. Whether you are going to the show or you are in it, you can find something to fit your needs. Choose from a variety of designs or create your own masterpiece. Their bands and watches are second to none. They also ship internationally. Who needs a stage to be a rock star? Check out RockstarLeatherworks.com.
Hey ladies, Sass Pants Designs will take that band shirt that everyone has and make it your own in a flattering, sassy, and simple way. There are one-of-a-kind tank tops, halter tops, lace-up tees, and tube-top dresses already in stock. Check out the online store at sasspantsrocks.com and like Sass Pants Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for special offers and custom orders. Use the code IZZY25 for 25% off of your entire order at sasspantsrocks.com. That's sasspantsrocks.com. Let Sass Pants make you the envy of the party.
Rockwood Saloon Authentic Apparel takes rock and roll fashion to a new level with their tees and tanks for men and women. They also make custom shirts, jackets, vests, pants, hoodies, beanies, and more. The Rockwood Graphics Department can design anything from your logo, t-shirt design, promo posters, band swag, and printed at great prices. From tour shirts and custom stage gear to killer threads for the street to the stage, Rockwood Saloon has it all. Rockwood Saloon, authentic rock and roll apparel for stage and street. World tour tested for quality, comfort, style, and durability. Check them out at www.rockwoodsaloon.com. That's rockwoodsaloon.com.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tom Arnold. I like fat women and cocaine. And you're listening to Izzy Presley here on another fucking podcast. And I know Izzy from Cocaine Anonymous meetings. I've actually seen him at the meetings with Ace Von Johnson from, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but Ace has got a bad coke problem. And his sponsor is Josh Todd from, and again, I shouldn't say this out loud, but Josh is his sponsor for Buck Cherry. He's addicted to upskirt porn. And they're both being sponsored by the Eagles. The whole band, the Eagles. Anyways, another fucking podcast right here with Izzy Presley, and call your sponsor. Fucking A.
All right, second half of the show brought to you by A&P Laser. Hey, fucking Valentine's Day is over. That doesn't mean you can't get something laser engraved. Hit them up. They're so good they can even laser engrave a hot dog bun. I have seen it done. Laser engraving by A&P Laser. Hit them up, aplaser.com. And our good friend John Palumbo. If you have a band, you have a business, you need a website, you need a logo, hit up our good friend John Palumbo at johnpalumbodesign.com. All right. It is time to get into this.
I love that Charlie posted today, got to choose, because that's what this is all about, man.
Exactly. This, and I'm not
call.
gonna lie, this might be the toughest one that we've done. And I thought that last week when we did the New Jersey versus Hysteria, but this is even harder because we're Kiss geeks and these are like our babies. So
yeah, one of these is extremely hard, but we'll get to it. But I'm looking.
I had the biggest problem for me in a lot of cases. It was easy coming up with the first one, but like trying to differentiate between the second and thirds, it was like really difficult for me in a lot of cases. I found myself nitpicking.
By the way, we did this exact same thing on Jericho's podcast, and the panel was me, Charlie, and Scott, and we did Anthrax Spreading versus Among the Living. So you should see what it's like doing this with two guys that actually created the records, watching them dissect their own songs and records. It was awesome.
Cool.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Which one won?
I remember, Charlie. Which one?
I think it was Among the Living.
Not by much, though.
That was my first Anthrax record.
Yeah, that would have been my
small margin.
My first one was Fistful.
You kick ass on that record, Charlie.
Fuck. Thank you, Roy.
I still love that record so much.
All right, Paul. So, Paul, do you want to read the songs off? Do you want me to read the songs off?
I mean, I got them all in front of me. Whatever's easier. I've got them. I already wrote it all down. Because
all right. So yeah. Okay. You go
we've
ahead.
Done this before.
You go ahead,
so
Mr. Co-host.
I had to make up a new sheet when you threw the Eddie curveball at me. I'm like, wait, I got to add another scoring column in. So this is So I've got the first round is Strutter, Got to Choose, and Room Service. And I'm going to do them in order. First one will always be the Kiss album. Second one, Hotter Than Hell. Right. Third one, Dressed to Kill. So it's Strutter, Got to Choose, and Room Service.
Do we answer in order or?
Just in the order you want them. The first one, the second one, third one. I'll go first since I already said mine, just to keep it simple. Strutter's my first. Room Service is my second. Got to Choose is third for me. And I'll save the explanations right on this one for you guys, just so we save a little bit of time here.
So we go like around the horn as we're looking at the screen, like down to Roy, then Mike and Charlie, and then me. Should we go that way?
I think we're seeing different orders, though.
Yeah,
we all see different orders. Yeah.
Well, Paul, who's next? I guess whoever goes, just pass it to somebody else then. So Paul, pass it to somebody.
I'll pass it to Eddie. He's on my right when I'm looking at it. So
this is brutal. Because I love all three of these songs so much. I really do. But if I gotta rank them, I gotta go Strutter one because it's just the all-time swagger rock and roll opener. Gonna go Room Service. Got to Choose two because I just love that song so much. And although I love Room Service as well, I'd put that at 3.
Pass it on.
Oh, Charlie.
I'm gonna go Strutter, Got to Choose, Room Service.
There you go.
Mike, go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna be the different guy here. I'm not gonna go with Strutter because to me it's just too played out. And I also always found it weird that they opened the album with Strutter and Deuce was the second song on the second side. I always would have assumed they would have opened with Deuce, like the live album.
Yeah, right.
But all
the first song on the second side, Mike.
Oh, I'm looking at this version.
What version?
I guess this is the originals version. I guess.
Oh, right. Well, they added Kissin' Time.
They added Kissin' Time,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, my version of this, Kissin' Time opens up side 2 as well.
That's the first. The first version of the first album. The first version of Kiss didn't have Kissin' Time on it. It was 9 tracks. Then
Right.
I think 6 months later, the reissues that started in like October, November, they added "Kiss in Time" because
is
they
weird,
thought
but-
they thought they needed a single, so they sent him in the studio to record a single.
But don't
And
open
they also-
the second side with it. Second side should have continued to open with Deuce.
But they also had a big promotion around Kiss in Time around the country where people, to see how long people would kiss for. It was a whole tie-in. So that's why. So wait, we're working off the version that has Kiss in Time, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Well, I still haven't answered, so let me answer it. I'm going to go, believe it or not, in the least predictable order. Room Service first, Got to Choose second, and Strutter third. And I remember Room Service when I was a kid, when I was acting like this with a tennis racket and doing that. I remember me and my brother had a whole choreography to the song Room Service, and we had this whole Kiss performance of the song Room Service. So to me, that's one of those forgotten about favorites of mine.
Before you move on, I must play this.
Shit, I had a bell in case someone was going too long with their answers.
That's good. And I pass it to Roy, by the way.
Is that the Eddie shut up bell?
Just sitting here minding my own
busting
business.
your balls. Come on, Roy, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to pick Strutter, Got to Choose, Room Service. I love Strutter, man. I mean, the opening of this drum,
So good.
Peter Criss's opening, it's iconic.
Yeah.
I mean, every drummer here, you all did that at Soundcheck.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love that song. I love.
But it only has the one blah blah blah. But didn't they add the second round on the double platinum
Double
version?
platinum, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a whole new version, like Strutter 78.
A four on the floor disco beat.
Yeah, and then on the outro they kept singing Strutter over and over and over, which really
I like that version too, but this version kills it, obviously.
It's so hard because I got the live versions in my head, but I know we have to go off the recorded version, so I have to go Got to Choose, Strutter, and Room Service.
All right.
Strutter's the far gone winner by there.
Strutter took 4 out of the 6. And Mike and I were the only two with the Room Service love.
You guys like Room Service?
I've always said
we like Room Service.
I've always said that somebody should do this. Should take the first 3 albums and put like an alternate Kiss Alive where it's all the other songs. And the same with Live too, because there's so many great songs off these first 3 albums that aren't on Alive.
Right.
I agree. But I have a version of "Let Me Know" from that Alive sound.
Really?
And it's awesome. Yeah.
Damn. I wonder why they didn't add it. I wonder why they didn't add that.
It was a bootleg I had for a while. And it has Let Me Know. But I wish they would have put All the Way on Alive.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, All the Way is great. It's a great one. I had also the original version of Alive 2, I think, had Take Me, I think, right?
Wow.
That was done. Actually, that was recorded, but it never made the record, which to me, that was such a great song. I would have rather heard that than Hard Luck Woman live.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, what's next?
Next we have Nothing to Lose, Parasite, and Two Timer. And why don't I'm just gonna go around on my screen. Eddie start this one. So Eddie start this one because I started the last one. So so you got Nothing to Lose, Parasite, and Two Timer.
Parasite's the second song on Harder Than Hell?
Yeah.
It
I
is.
didn't realize that. Nothing to Lose, 1. Parasite to Two Timer, 3.
Okay.
So both of yours went Kiss Harder Than Hell, Just to Kill for songs 1 and 2.
I'm not taking notes, but probably, yeah.
Wait, you went. Wait, yours was what, Eddie? One more time. Yours was what?
Nothing
first?
to Lose at 1.
Right. Okay. So you're
at 2.
Yep.
And Two Timer at 3.
Yep. You're absolutely right. Eddie did do that both times.
Although Two Timer's a pretty heavy song. If you it's a heavy. That's a really like heavy song when you think about it. And of course, Parasite's amazing riff, but I gotta go. I mean, Nothing to Lose is like, yeah, it's one of the things I really miss that Kiss stopped doing later on, is like that whole trade-off where everybody took a lead vocal, and that's what made them so unique. And they really scaled that back as they went on, but that was so cool about that song.
Yeah, they changed it. They changed it now where Eric sings it instead of Gene singing it.
Well, I think the studio version, they each take a verse. Peter, Gene, and Paul each have a verse.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the big, we almost touched on this earlier, but we never actually did. That's one of the most amazing things that's overlooked about this band, is that everybody sang. I mean, Ace really didn't sing, but later he did sing. But it was like, it's crazy to have three lead singers. You had three guys that did leads.
It was, I've always said they were the hard rock Beatles.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
Like Paul Stanley always reminded me of Paul McCartney. Gene always reminded me of John Lennon. George and Ace are totally the same character, and Peter and Ringo, and the same thing with the Beatles. They all sang, they all wrote, you know.
Yep.
And think about this with Nothing to Lose. It's the first ever Kiss single, and the first single they ever released in their history is about anal sex. I thought about the back door. I mean, that's what the song is about. It's insane if you think about it.
Yeah.
There's no more perverted band, whether it's Christine 16, Calling Dr. Love, Nothing to Lose. It's unbelievable.
Yep. Roy, what about you?
I'm going to do Nothing to Lose, Got to Choose, Two-Timer.
No, not
Parasite.
No, Got to Choose.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at my Parasite, Two-Timer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Charlie.
you're going in this.
So I'm going to go Parasite first, Nothing to Lose, and Two-Timer. But I will say that Nothing to Lose live is such a great, song when they all sing it. And Peter would kill that song. It's a Kiss song, and it definitely, it's definitely a hard one, but Parasite for me, it makes the hair on my arms stand up more than Nothing to Lose. But
see, I got to go Parasite, Two-Timer, Nothing to Lose. I don't know what, I love Nothing to Lose, but I don't know what it is. I always skip it.
Really? To this day, Ace does Parasite in his set. His band always kills it. He always plays that great live still.
Mr. Portnoy.
Me, it's Parasite number 1, Nothing to Lose number 2, and Two-Timer. And I mean, obviously everybody knows this, but Parasite is like such an Ace affiliated song. You always think of Ace, but it's interesting that he didn't sing any of his own songs on all these early albums.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. How do you think, how much do you think that would have changed the dynamic of it for the songs that he wrote if he would have sang them on the original?
I think it would have been cool because the other three are singing. I think it would have been, like I just said with the Beatles, like Ringo always sang one song at least. And I think I'm surprised it took so long, but if he wrote Parasite, he wrote Cold Gin, he wrote
Strange Ways.
Strange Ways, yeah.
Strange Ways.
And it wasn't until Shock Me, which was their 6th album, that he finally.
He didn't have the confidence. He wasn't. He could do it. He was just. He was scared to do it. I mean, he didn't want to. And that story when he did Shock Me of like him, he laid down on the floor on his back in the dark to do it because he still wasn't confident standing up on a microphone like that, even in the studio.
Yeah, but you know what? I can't hear anyone but Gene singing Parasite. It's just,
Well, now you can, but if it was recorded a different way.
If it was recorded differently, we would, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree, but.
I agree with Charlie and Mike. For me, it's Parasite, Nothing to Lose, Two-Timer. And I just
that's the right answer, by the way.
It's the right answer, but I gotta be honest. And we mentioned this earlier, but that Anthrax cover of Parasite is just that's another one.
It's pretty awesome.
That Anthrax cover of Parasite's amazing. But Parasite, like you said, Charlie, just makes that's just awesome.
Right, but why is it such an awesome version? Is it because Ed Trunk sings on it, or
I think I got mixed out of it, by the way. I think I got buried in the mix. It needs a remix.
You'll be on the 40th anniversary hidden demo version. Yeah.
The reason why I remembered even doing that, it came back to me, is somebody interviewed me like a couple weeks ago for this print thing. And one of the questions the guy asked me, which I've never been asked in my life, was like, is it true that you sang backing vocals on Anthrax Parasite? I'm like, we're just saying. And I said to him, I go, yeah. I said, I'm one of probably 30 people in the chorus because I was at the studio and they knew what a Kiss fan I was. But it was like the most random thing. So it was just in my head again.
Well, this person.
Well, I'm still stuck. I'm still stuck on you saying you did an interview for print. What's print? What?
Yeah. It wasn't a podcast.
Yeah, this person obviously didn't hear you sing Christine 16 on one of the cruises that we did during karaoke.
Nobody needs to hear me sing ever.
Yes. And I guarantee you sing twice as well as I do. So we got that.
Paul, what's next?
Next we got Firehouse, Going Blind, and Ladies in Waiting. And how about Roy? You start this round. Firehouse, Going Blind, and Ladies in Waiting.
I'm going to do Firehouse, Going Blind, Ladies in Waiting.
Okay. You have done the same order for all three albums.
So far.
So far. Yeah, so far.
And I'll move it right along just to keep it going quick.
Record. That's what I'm going by right now.
I'm the same as, I know I'm just keeping the same trend here, but I actually same as Roy. So put me down the same as Roy.
Okay.
Oh God, fuck it, I'll go.
But I'll tell you this though, I love the live version of Firehouse more, but I picked it because.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got to go Going Blind, Firehouse, and then Ladies. I just love
the guitar solo in Ladies in Waiting is killer. It's very underrated. Yeah. It's a great A solo nobody talks about. But
so is the guitar solo in Going Blind. It's so simple, but it's so beautiful.
I got it. I'm actually Firehouse 1, Ladies in Waiting 2nd, Going Blind 3rd. I agree. The solo, I also, something about the Ladies in Waiting chorus I love. And I'm just creeped the fuck out by the I'm 93 and you're 16. And I'm just like, you know what? It's just, that just creeps me out and I can't get over it. That's 3rd.
Reference what I said earlier, one of the creepiest bands ever.
Oh, God.
Who to? Well, these are all three are Genes, obviously, right? These are 3 Gene songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Firehouse.
I'm going to go. What? He didn't. Oh, no. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Good point. You totally associate Firehouse with Gene because he blows the fire, but you're right. That's funny. I didn't even think of that. But my answer will be Firehouse, Going Blind, Ladies in Waiting, chronological.
Okay. I'm going to go with Firehouse just because of the Mike Douglas appearance.
Yes.
If anybody's ever seen that version of Firehouse,
God, yeah,
it's killer. So yeah, I got to go Firehouse. What was the other song?
Going Blind. Going Blind, Ladies in Waiting.
Going Blind is an awesome song, but nothing beats Firehouse. I mean, there's so much around that song. You know, he blows fire. You got fire engine lights. It's Kiss. So
it's Kiss.
Yeah, but you're thinking of the live version, and we're working on the studio versions.
Well, that's what helps us pick it.
I'm gonna go with my Firehouse is number 1.
What's number 2? Going Blind or Ladies in Waiting? I'll tell you what. If you pick number 2, you don't have to pick number 3.
I'll tell you. All right, I'll pick. I'll say Going Blind second.
All right.
Who did that cool cover Going Blind? Was it the Melvins?
Yeah, the Melvins. I didn't like it.
Melvins did a great version.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Even weirder, lower, and way creepier. I thought I thought Buzz sounded great on it. The whole band sounds awesome on it.
We had when they came through on the reunion tour, fucking Detroit and St. Louis had Alice in Chains, and they come to St. Paul and they had the fucking Melvins.
That's not bad. Those guys are freaking awesome. What are you talking
Melvins
about?
aren't
It
bad.
was terrible. It was
What?
terrible. You're in
Get
Kiss.
outta here.
You're in Kiss
It's
mode,
great.
and the fucking Melvins
by the-
on stage. Get the fuck
Well,
out.
I mean, maybe
all
not
right,
for a
first-
Kiss audience, but they're fucking
I was
awesome.
about to say,
though.
first of all, Kiss got beat the hell up on that for some of the bands they had, but they did an amazing job of putting opening bands on that tour. And in Detroit, they also had Sponge.
Well, in
Hometown
Detroit,
boys.
were any of you guys at the Detroit Tiger Stadium show?
Yeah, I was. Was anybody else?
I was there.
I was.
You know-
I ended up after the stage rush. Sebastian Bach and I were literally right next to each other.
Dude, I fucking remember that. We're fucking right there. It's like,
Waiting
dude,
for
we're
that.
fucking Kiss, and Scott Ian's like fucking right
Charlie,
next to us.
ding him out, Charlie.
You know, I just had Jerry Cantrell and Sean Kinney on my show a few weeks ago, and I talked to them about opening that show, because if you saw Alice in Chains open that show, they had a hard time, and they talked about it. Jerry, first time I ever heard Jerry talk about it, just a few weeks ago, and he said that they really that it wasn't a good show, and they made a lot of bad mistakes in the sense that they thought it would be cool and kind of a tribute. If you remember, they played Kiss riffs in between their own songs.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sean Kinney actually sang a little bit of Beth, and the crowd started booing and got really pissed off because they took it as if like they were goofing on him. You don't do that when Kiss is about to play their first reunion show ever. And it was not, and those guys talked to me about it. They said, yeah, it was really, it wasn't a great thing. He goes, and they were actually pissed. The band was actually, Kiss was actually not happy with them when they came off that they did that. They were doing it kind of like, as like almost like a homage, but that's not the right set.
Well, and that's not exactly the band to sell the homage, because Lane wasn't exactly the personable guy who's going to go, oh my God, this is in the spirit of paying tribute to the band. He was more, so that's, Izzy, you haven't gone yet. Do yours.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, what'd you pick? What was your order?
Firehouse was second, and Ladies in Waiting was third.
Oh, you had Going Blind first.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I'm a creepy old bastard.
You know what you are. Okay.
Oh, man.
Silence.
Nobody's arguing that. Charlie's not hitting the bell on that. All right, fourth round. All right, so going fourth here, we've got Cold Gin, Hotter Than Hell, and Getaway, and we're gonna start with Charlie. Cold Gin,
man.
Hotter Than Hell, Getaway.
I gotta go Cold Gin. Hotter Than Hell, Getaway. And has anyone ever noticed that most of the songs on Dress to Kill end the same way? Yeah. They all have that ending. Like, we need an ending. Use that one again.
We need an ending. Use that one.
Use that one. It worked.
Flip a coin. Which ending is it going to be? Yeah, it's that one.
And ironically, they didn't do it on fucking Rock and Roll Night on the record, but they did it for the live version.
Right. Yeah, totally.
All right,
Who's
Mike,
next?
you go next. Mike, you go next. I'm just going in order on my screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go chronological again. Cold Gin, Hotter Than Hell, Getaway. Cold Gin, once again, an Ace song sung by Gene. And I'm looking at this. It's interesting that the first 4 songs on Kiss all made Kiss Alive, and all probably won each one of these rounds. But the first 4 songs on Dress to Kill, none of them are on Kiss Alive. It's not until the 5th song on Dress to Kill that you get a Kiss Alive.
Wow.
Pretty interesting.
Wow.
I'm laughing because I'm looking at Mike with these glasses on and the headphones with his notes, and like Professor Portnoy, like doing extrapolations, and
I'm
he's
literally
got
just looking.
props, and he's like, it's hysterical. He's in his like Kiss cave. So I'm looking at and
gotta get that mask.
Hey
I'm
Mike,
telling
what's the
you.
total running order disparity right now? The first 3 songs came in at 12 minutes, the other 13.
Yeah, but and not to just, I mean, Roy texted me beforehand. He's like, I'm ready. And he texted me a picture of notes, and I texted him back a picture of notes. It's like, you got to draw your little notes down. So you
Well,
I feel like
I'll be honest,
I'm not that prepared.
No, I haven't looked at these until now. I'm like making the picks on the spot. I haven't pre-picked these, but I'm making the observations on the spot too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roy, what about you?
Right.
I'm gonna go Hotter Than Hell, Cold Gin, and Getaway. The reason
Poor
why is
Getaway.
that
I have a
just-
feeling Getaway is going to end up in last.
Just something about Hotter Than Hell. Just it just drives more. I like
Yeah.
driving. I love Cold Gin, but Hotter Than Hell to me was always a cool song, especially when it turned into
The live version.
Especially yeah, and especially when it turned into Rip and Destroy on
Yeah.
where it was all boo.
Yeah, I gotta go Hotter Than Hell first as well. It's that
Yes.
song. Oh, it's so fucking great. And Cold Gin, I've sang 10 billion times, but it's still so good. But
But the middle riff is so great.
It is great.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I gotta go.
Another one that Anthrax covered, correct?
I'm just gonna jump right in and say same as Roy and Izzy. I'm Hotter Than Hell, then Cold Gin. So and then
You are
Eddie.
Hotter Than Hell.
Hot.
Same as Paul and Roy. Hotter Than Hell, Cold Gin, Getaway.
Okay.
I've always, even though he hates me, Paul was always my favorite member, and his songs are always my favorite, and that's still the case. So I'm always going to favor the Paul stuff over anything else. Usually,
I think on my bucket list is going to be to get Paul to give Eddie a hug.
I don't need that.
Well, he got
It's
his
fine,
second.
Paul.
He got his second vaccination now, so it would be safe.
Oh,
It's all good.
Oh, we all have ours, and Eddie's is Paul.
Charlie, where are you at?
I was
Charlie
number
already
one.
went.
Oh, did you go first?
Charlie
Oh, I'm
went.
sorry.
Yeah. So all right. So track number 5, Mr. Portnoy. You're going to be starting this one. It is "Let Me Know" versus "Let Me Go Rock and Roll" versus "Rock Bottom."
Okay, already I'm noticing 2 of them begin with the words "let me." But, I'm gonna go Rock Bottom, number 1. Let Me Know, number 2, but only for the back end. I kind of hate the main song, but I love, the ending bit that they put in the live version of She takes it into the number 2 position for me. And then number 3, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, which was never one of my favorite songs. It was always a skipper for me, and I know it was like the big live show finale, but it was never one of my favorites. So Rock Bottom, Let Me Know, Let Me Go Rock and Roll.
Okay. Izzy, you go next.
I have to agree. I love the live version of Let Me Go Rock and Roll just because of all the extra shit that they add, and it just makes it into like a jam. But yeah, I have to go exactly the way Mike goes.
Eddie.
Rock Bottom is the best song of the 3, so I put that at 1. Although the thing about Rock Bottom's studio version is that intro does go on a bit too long. It's kind of like, I wish it was as long as it was on the live version where they cut it in half, because it's a really long intro. But regardless, it's when it kicks in, it's just amazing. So I go Rock Bottom 1. Let Me Know, I go at 2, because not only about the back end of the song, but Let Me Know is another one of those songs where you got the trade-off lead vocal, which is so great. I mean, that's so great when they do that. And I agree with Mike about Let Me Go Rock and Roll. It's this great jam live on a live, but overall, to me, it just feels like a kind of a recycled throwback, like old school 50s rock and roll charged up song or something. And I don't know, it's as a song, it's more of just a catalyst for the jam. So I go 3 on that.
Roy.
I'm gonna go Rock Bottom, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, and Let Me Know. I'm gonna go Rock Bottom because I just like I love the live version. I love this studio version. Let Me Go Rock and Roll. I like the live version more. I'm not into the studio version as much. I agree with you all on that. And Let Me Know, I never really got into that one. You know, it's good, but I don't think it's as good as Rock Bottom.
Yeah, the first album, they had 3 songs that were total like almost like 50s blues songs, like Let Me Know, Kissin' Time, and Love Theme from Kiss is not really bluesy, but 3 serious throwaway tracks on the first album, I think.
I agree.
Yep. Yeah. Charlie.
I'm gonna go Rock Bottom. Not the UFO version, the Kiss version. And then I love Let Me Go Rock and Roll. Ace's lead in the song is the thing that saves it, you know. And And then I do like Let Me Know. I love the end of it. And like I said, there's a live version that sounds just like the live sound that is great. But yeah, that's it. Rock Bottom is one of their greatest songs.
It's funny. We started 3 guys in a row. The first 3 guys said put Let Me Know in second, and the last 3 are all putting Let Me Go Rock and Roll. I'm agreeing with Roy and Charlie with the order. Rock Bottom first, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, and then Let Me Know. And the interesting thing nobody pointed out, Gene Simmons doesn't play on Rock Bottom. Ace plays bass on that.
Wow.
Really?
Paul, he forgot to come in on the top of the song because it doesn't come in until halfway through the first. I had no idea. I didn't know he played bass on that.
I'm fairly certain there's 2 songs on that first Kiss record that Ace doesn't play on. No, on the third one, Rock Bottom and Getaway. Rock Bottom and Getaway. Gene does not play bass on. Ace plays bass on both those songs.
Wow, did not know that.
That is weird and wild stuff. I did not.
How did I pull that one out? Wow.
And you know who else? You know who else doesn't know that happened? Ace.
Ace doesn't know that happened.
I don't know. It was a long time.
I don't fucking know.
One of my favorite like intermission stories, really fast. One of my favorite stories about playing and not playing on a record. When I did the Kiss cover interview with Peter Criss, one of my things for doing the cover was I said I'll do a cover story with Peter. There's a whole backstory to why this even came up. However, I agreed to do a Peter cover for Metal Edge as long as Peter would be allowed to tell the truth about whether or not he played on Psycho Circus. So Gene told Peter that he's allowed to tell the truth about the recording sessions for Psycho Circus. And I asked Peter, did you play on Psycho Circus? And Peter goes, well, I played on it. I just don't know if the parts made the album.
He's on one song. There's one song on that whole record that's actually the 4 guys playing their respective instruments, and it's the Ace song, Into the Void.
And let me ask you this.
The rest of Psycho Circus is Kevin Valentine on drums.
Which would have been the last song chronologically that had the 4 of them? Because they weren't all on Dynasty. They weren't all on the
Love Gun.
No, the Alive 2 studio tracks, probably.
No.
Oh, those are all
Bob Kulick is on that.
So Love Gun is the last.
Actually, no, Mike, you're right. Rocket Ride.
So Rocket Ride is the last song with the 4 original members from that era.
Wow. All together.
That's correct. Wow.
That's
I could have sworn Peter played on one of the songs on Dynasty.
He did.
He did.
But did Ace? I don't know if Ace was on all that.
Yeah. So that would be it.
So that would have been. So it would be Dynasty then.
One song on Dynasty. Yeah.
Wow.
Does anybody know? There's a debate about this forever. I know we're going off the track here for a second.
No.
Intermission.
There's a debate about this that I can never get a definitive answer on. On Alive 2, Charlie, stop. Answer. I'm going to know this. On Alive 2, Larger Than Life, is that Peter on drums?
Gene told me that Peter is on the side 4. That's what Gene said. That's Peter playing. But it sounds like either
Anton.
Carmine or Anton. But it couldn't have been Anton because I don't think Anton was in the picture yet. Didn't he come in?
Came in very quickly after. But the thing, now Eddie Kramer told me that it was Peter too, but it's so not Peter-like. And very recently I heard stories that it wasn't.
Do you guys, the 3 drummers here, do you think Rocket Ride sounds like Peter?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I don't.
He has in the way.
I don't think Larger Than Life sounds like Peter though.
I don't either.
I think I'm so used to like the live non-Kiss versions of Rocket Ride that I just haven't listened to the actual studio version in so long that maybe that's why that hit me. Did everybody go?
All right, and just a curious fact about the first half. The only song that all 5 of us agreed on was Rock Bottom. That's the only one that all 5 of us picked.
Oh yeah, and just in the chat room really quick, Sarah said, I love this level of metal nerdiness. I think I found my new Tuesday night activity. And
Oh yes.
and Lori says, where would Greg get that information like that? Because we were told
Greg, yeah.
People were calling Paul Greg
Last week there was one guy just kept calling me Greg, and we're like, it's got to be me, I guess. It was tough. All right, so now we're going to the side 2. We're turning the vinyl over. We're going to start with Izzy on this one.
Yes.
It is Kissin' Time, the cover, All the Way, or Come On and Love Me.
Ooh. Oh God, I hate you. I love Come On and Love Me so much, but I love All the Way so much too. But fuck it. I gotta go with my ab. It's All the Way, it's Come On and Love Me, and then it's Kissin' Time.
Okay. Eddie.
Come On and Love Me at 1.
It's so good.
This might be controversial, but I'm going Kissin' Time 2.
Whoa.
And I'm going All the Way at 3. And here's why. Again, I know a lot of people hate Kissin' Time. I thought it was even though it's a cover, I thought it was a great Kiss anthem. And I love the fact, again, that all 3 guys take a lead vocal. I mean, that's what made Kiss so unique. Yeah. That trade-off of voices in the verses was so cool. And I love when they did that. And that's why it's going in the 2-hole for me.
That's fair. That's good. That's good. I'm gonna go Come On and Love Me 1, All the Way 2, Kissin' Time 3. That was a close 2-3 for me. I went with All the Way because it wasn't a cover. That was my only reason. But Eddie, everything you said, I agree completely. It's like, if you're going to do a cover, it's a great cover.
And I don't know, they added it to the record, so they had an anthemic single, and they did all that promotion around it. And when I listen to it and think of 1974, I mean, I don't know why that song should have been big for them. Yeah. To me, it's a super catchy song, and I think, I don't know why it didn't connect at the time, but I thought it should have.
Yeah.
Well, here we are. Here we are 50 years later. 50 years later, I still don't connect to it.
So who's going to go next?
46, Mike. Mike, 46 years later, maybe for the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, maybe I'll come around. For me, to me, it's between Come On and Love Me and All the Way. I love All the Way. It's one of my favorite forgotten songs. I've always wanted to cover it, and Charlie covered it this past year, and I was like, oh man, that's a favorite of mine that I've always wanted to play. But as much as I love All the Way as a forgotten one, I think Come On and Love Me is just the better song. It's a great song. So I'd have to go with Come On and Love Me number 1, All the Way 2, and Kissin' Time 3.
Okay.
I will say this: a lot of the 3, the song I actually have been wanting to cover for years was All the Way.
Yeah.
Charlie?
Skid Row did a cool cover of Come On and Love Me.
Yep.
On that EP.
I got to go with Come On and Love Me. I love the version on Dressed to Kill. They added acoustic guitar in it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
It sounds really cool, blended in. But the way Paul sings it, it's just awesome, and the live version is great too. All the Way is one of my favorite Kiss songs, but it doesn't beat out Come On and Love Me. So and Kissin' Time, I think the last time I heard it was probably back in '74.
I have a question for, actually, before Roy goes, I have a question for the couple vinyl nerds that are on here. Does anyone have a copy of the original Kiss album without Kissin' Time?
I do.
I do.
You do it.
No, the guy that hates vinyl.
The guy that hates vinyl has like.
It came out 46 years ago when there was nothing else but vinyl, Izzy.
Well, hey, you have my address. If you ever wanted to send it to me, I'll take it.
No, it's super collectible. And not only do I have it, but what's crazy about it, I have it in the other room. I could get it. It's on Warner Brothers.
Yeah, show it. Get it.
At the time,
Wow.
At the time, Casablanca was initially distributed by Warner Brothers. It's a promo version, and it's a white label promo.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
wow.
Sebastian Bach went crazy when he saw that I had it. He couldn't believe I had
Holy
it. You want to
shit.
see it?
Yeah, I want to see
I
it.
want to see
Yeah.
it. Now, the
I'll be
interesting
right back.
thing, thing with Eddie, I'll tell the story while Eddie's getting this. So apparently, if the story is true, and Eddie might know, Casablanca got knocked. Warner Brothers dropped Casablanca as a label because Kiss refused to take their makeup off.
Wow.
Warner Brothers told Casablanca, if you're going to stay with us, Kiss has to take their makeup off. And Casablanca told Kiss, we won't make you do it. Kiss said they wouldn't do it. And Warner Brothers dropped Casablanca. So that was...
It was the same thing with Donna Summer. They asked Donna Summer to take her makeup off. She wouldn't do it. They dropped it.
Lori from Australia checking in says, at this moment, his nephew comes out of his room wearing a Kiss Dress to Kill shirt. I love
Roy,
it.
do you want to go? Do you want to go
Yeah.
while Eddie's picking through vinyl? Do you want to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. The thing. Wait, I got to say one thing. They wanted Kiss to take the makeup off, but the Village people were okay.
The Village people are all right. Yeah.
All right.
Imagine, like, which one the Village people would not pass today? That would be like the most politically incorrect band on the planet.
And
In 2021, the Village people would make Kiss look like Boy Scouts. That's like
just for the record, let's make note that this is the first time in 40 years when Eddie said, "Do you want to see it?" A bunch of people said yes.
All right, here it is. This is as rare as it gets, folks.
Charlie, you don't have this?
I don't have it here. I have it.
Oh, you do. So you do have it.
Yeah.
I have it. I figured you'd have it.
This one, Charlie.
Wow.
No, I don't have a sticker.
That's in great shape.
But flip it. It's all about the back, the track listing.
I don't know if you're gonna be able to see, but
yeah, we can't see. But so Eddie, did you get that?
Wait. Here it is. Hold on.
So what opens side 2? Deuce?
Hold on.
Don't drop it.
Look at the white label.
Oh,
wow.
That's what it looks like.
Wow.
And then
the man that doesn't collect vinyl.
I don't collect vinyl.
Yeah, right?
I like this back in the day.
Do you happen to have a Beatles butcher block back there? You could.
So wait, what track opens side 2? That's side 2.
So what opens side 2?
I can't see.
Deuce opens side 2.
As it should. If anything, they should have put Kiss in Time like track 2 or something.
I agree.
The only thing I have that's rare, I have it alive on red vinyl from the 70s.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Dude, that's fucking killer.
I have
show and tell. I love it. And in the chat room, Joel says we need to see this. If you watch on YouTube, it'll be up on YouTube tomorrow. You'll be able to see it.
Yeah, you'll be able to see this on YouTube.
The only thing I have signed by all 4 of them. Well, I have the Kiss. What is the Kiss story book? Signed by all
Kiss
4
story, yeah.
But also this as well, Kiss Alive 1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I had Gene Simmons autographed a term paper I wrote in college.
Wow.
I have the first album and a Love Gun signed that they did on the reunion tour.
The Love Gun, like the pop gun?
No, the actual album cover.
Oh, okay.
For all the times
my teacher, my 5th grade teacher took my Love Gun. I had it in class.
Hey now. It's crazy. In all the times that I've interviewed all 4 members multiple times in person, I've done photo shoots with the entire original lineup. I've never gotten my picture taken with all 4, and I've never gotten anything autographed by all 4, which is crazy to me. I've got autographs from everybody, but not all 4 together.
Damn.
You pay a lot of money for that now. Now they charge for that.
Exactly. Roy, go through your order here. So you've got, we still haven't done track 6 with you.
I'm going to do Come On and Love Me first.
Mm-hmm.
All the Way and Kissing Time.
Okay.
I never really connected with Kissing Time or All the Way. They're good songs, but Come On and Love Me, I love that song only because, from first time hearing it, Kiss Alive, and I love the studio version. Yeah. That's that.
So we went, okay. So Paul, Roy, Charlie, Mike all agreed. Eddie agreed about Come On and Love Me. And Izzy, you were the lone no Come On and Love Me Love.
Wow.
I thought I had that first.
You had All the Way first.
Did I? Oh, shit.
Yeah, you said you wanted to cover it. Do you want to switch?
Well, no, I thought I said Come On and
All
Love
right.
Me, better song. But yeah, it's Come On
It
and Love
would
Me.
really work. Come on and love me all the way. It's kissing.
All right, so it's gone. All right, you're switching. Okay, that's the second one where we all agreed. All right. So seventh song, Deuce, Watching You, Anything for My Baby. And I think because it's Deuce, we got to go to Mike Portnoy because he's got the Deuce obsession with where it is on the record. So Deuce, Watching You, and Anything for My Baby.
That's my order right there. Deuce, Watching You. I love Watching You. And Anything for My Baby, I think is one of the weaker tracks on Dressed to Kill, actually. One of my least favorite. But that's my order, chronological.
And I'm just going to jump right in and say that's my order too. I agree completely. And let's go to Eddie.
I'll go with that order as well, although I will stick up a little bit for Anything for My Baby because, again, it's a great Paul vocal.
Yeah.
It's got that great attitude, New York voice, accent, swagger.
That's true.
I love Anything for My Baby. I really do. But Watching You is so heavy. That riff is so great. And of course, Deuce is one of the all-time classics. So I got to go Deuce, Watching You, Anything for My Baby.
All right. Roy, how about you?
Copying them all. Deuce, Watching You, Anything for My Baby. For the same exact reasons.
And let's see, Charlie.
I want to do this one.
Izzy, you go now.
All right. Deuce, just because it's fucking Deuce. Yeah, Deuce, Watching You, Anything for My Baby.
Although the thing I'll say about this with Deuce, the thing I'll say about this about Deuce is I think Deuce is the song that maybe is the biggest upgrade on a live versus the studio version. Like this, So you could definitely, like, I think in all of our minds we're thinking Deuce with the open of a live.
Totally, it's the opening track.
Version, but we're comparing studio stuff, and the studio version of Deuce is, pretty neutered compared to the live version.
I think you could say that about all these tracks.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
But Deuce suffers the most, I think, or gains the most from the live version.
Gains the most going live.
Yeah.
Charlie, what's your order for those?
I'm gonna go Watching You, Deuce, Anything for My Baby. Watching You is one of the best Kiss songs ever. Best Gene vocal too.
It is a great.
Charlie, you guys did that one too, didn't you?
Yeah, and
with
then
Bush,
Peter,
right?
Yeah, Peter does that beat with the cowbell. It's just funky and it's awesome. So
the only thing that pisses me off is about Watching You is I can't do that. What my guitar teacher told me called it the ace stumble in the beginning. That's what he called the stumble. I can't fucking pull that off. It pisses me off.
All right, track 8. We have the love theme from Kiss.
This is easy. This is gonna be
the love theme from Kiss. We have Mainline. And we have She. And let's start with Roy, because I don't think he's gone first for a while.
I'm gonna do She, Mainline, Love Them, Love Theme. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the same. I can't believe how many Kiss songs that Anthrax has covered because they did She as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're not fans. They're not.
We were trying to do a Kiss EP at one point.
I'm going to jump in. I agree with the two of you, by the way. I'm the same thing. I'm going She, Mainline. I really like Mainline. I got to say, like, one of the things, especially going back and, like, just intense, like, just listening to these albums a lot over the past couple of days, as, like, I forget how respectable a vocalist Peter Criss really was. I mean, I forgot. I mean, Peter really,
Easily, at least the second best singer in the band, and I bet you Gene would agree with that. You know,
Yeah.
I always thought he had this really cool, like raspy Rod Stewart kind of voice. I always loved that about his voice.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Edward?
Clearly Love Theme from Kiss is number one. No, I'm just kidding. She mainline Love Theme.
Just really quick from the chat room, Bruce from Canada says, how much did Baz offer Eddie for that vinyl? And Joel Smith replied, he offered him his spot in Skid Row, and Eddie turned it down.
Oh.
Actually, Sebastian has one of these. When I was at his house a couple years ago, this was his prized possession, which he believed nobody else on the planet had.
Oh,
and
you
when I
crushed
told
him.
him I had one, it took his legs out, and he didn't believe it until I produced a photo and texted it to him.
Dude, you don't even fucking like vinyl.
He actually has it.
And here's the best part. Whatever he'd be willing to pay.
I'm sorry. The thing I have that he wants the most badly, which I can also show you, is my sealed originals 8 tracks.
Oh,
that is cool. That's a good one.
That's what he's envious of.
Yeah, don't tell John 5.
I was about to say, so what you do is you get a number from Sebastian, and when he thinks he's got it, you let John 5 bid higher. That's
right.
Where the difference comes in. And so all right, so we're at Charlie and Izzy. Both of you haven't gone yet.
Charlie, go ahead.
Love Theme, mainline, and She.
She, mainline, Love Theme.
Samesies.
So we all that's
unanimous.
the first one that was unanimous in order for all of us. We've not only did we all pick the same song to win, but we went the same order for everything, and that had not happened yet.
I think that's pretty undisputed. I think anybody would go with that order. I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I agree.
I gotta be honest. I'm looking at mine right now, and I have a clear favorite of these 3 records, and I don't know that my clear favorite is going to be my clear favorite when I add up the scoring, which is pretty funny. All right, the 9th song, 100,000 Years,
Ooh.
Coming Home,
Ooh,
Lover All I Can.
Ooh, another Anthrax cover.
Yeah, really? Oh my God, that's funny.
Let's start with we'll start with Charlie on this one.
Oh man, this is a tough one.
Yeah, this is definitely a tough one.
I don't even know if I could do this. I love Lover All I Can. It's just such a great song. What was the other one?
It's 100,000 Years, Coming Home, and Lover All I Can.
All right, I'm gonna do 100,000 Years, Lover All I Can, Coming Home. Although Coming Home is still, I wish that was on Alive. I always said that too.
Yeah.
Coming Home got new.
So you're doing
100,000
years.
When they
Right.
played the unplugged version.
Yeah, absolutely.
They opened
Coming
Unplugged.
home,
I
and
was there
Nothing to
too.
Lose. Both were great from that unplugged show. That unplugged show was freaking awesome. Love
That's
that.
amazing.
I also love that they did the Gene solo songs.
See You Tonight.
Yeah,
Ed,
yeah.
were
great
you
tune.
there? Ed,
I
were
was
you
there.
too. Yeah, I was there.
I was there.
How about Mike? You go next.
Lover All I Can is one of my favorite one of those underrated Kiss songs. I think it's a great song.
Mm-hmm.
So Lover All I Can, number 1, 100,000 Years 2, Coming Home 3.
Okay, so you're going. All right, so Lover All I Can 1. Nice. Roy, we'll start with the 3 musicians.
I'm gonna go 100,000 Years, Coming Home. Actually, no. Yeah, 100,000 Years, Coming Home, Lover All I Can.
Okay.
I assume you all know the Wicked Lester version of Lover All I Can as well, right? With the flute solo and
yeah.
I've never heard that.
Eddie, how about you?
To me, this might be the hardest of the ones we've had so far. This is really hard.
Yeah.
You can do it.
100,000 Years. God, it's so hard.
I feel like these last 2 were probably the 2 hardest for me, honestly. I mean, it's just
I'm gonna go 100,000 Years, Lover All I Can, Coming Home. Only because Coming Home, as great as Coming Home is, Coming Home does suffer from the sludge-like production of Hotter Than Hell.
Yeah, I agree.
So
that's the way that I could justify that.
The thing for me that just made, I had 100,000 Years first. I love that song, but Lover All I Can to me is just, it's like the funkiest Kiss song. That song just has a feel to it and a vibe to it that you just don't hear in other parts of Kiss. And we've talked about like the influence that like where the band comes in, and like so much of this stuff, they have like a 50s feel at times, and they wear their love for a lot of those bands on their sleeves. This was something different. It had a different feel to it, a different vibe to it, and it just really stands out to me. But yeah, so that's why I put it, and it sucks making Coming Home last because they're all great songs, but that was my order. 100,000 Years, Lover All I Can, Coming Home.
Great
they sing
lead break.
Tough.
And they both sing on Lover All I Can.
Harmonies on the verses are so good. Love
and
them.
the lead break, very underrated lead break in Lover All I Can. At the end, Ace just goes that last lead break is great.
If you listen to the cover of Lover All I Can that we did, that's Gene and Paul doing the backups too.
Did they play ping pong again?
Oh no, because we did it in LA. Actually, no ping pong.
Eddie, that was one of the
Gene,
ones.
Is Gene that good at ping pong, or do you guys just all suck at ping pong?
No, dude. You know who else is really good? Steve Harris is a very good ping pong player, and Steve Harris kicked our asses. And maybe we were pretty bad ping pong players. Now that I think about it.
None of those guys were good. You guys just sucked more.
Yeah.
Steve was wearing mittens and he beat you. Yeah.
Actually, Yannick wasn't there. Sorry.
To me, 100,000
He was
years.
dancing.
To me, 100,000 years is the masterpiece. It's the Kiss masterpiece to me. I love Ace's guitar in it. I don't know. Fucking Peter's drums are just so fucking killer. That bass line. Oh fuck! Of course, thanks. Ruin it for me.
That's not Bob Kulick on 100,000 Years.
Their first album, Bob Kulick's already coming in.
Bob Kulick did the whole thing. Drums. By the way, I'm rewriting history. That was Bob Kulick on all of it.
It's gonna be the headline on Blabbermouth tomorrow.
And actually, rest in peace, Bob Kulick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we could jump into next week's Rest in Peace, Bob Kulick, the whole album. Yeah.
And then I gotta go Lover All I Can. And as much as it pains me to put fucking Coming Home last, that the version on Unplugged is just so fucking killer.
It's pretty awesome.
Which reminds me, Ed, so next week will Unplugged and Alive 3 be allowed in the countdown?
I don't know. I didn't think about that, but I guess, I don't really usually don't count like live albums and those things.
Okay.
So probably not, but if somebody really wanted to take one spot, I guess technically it counts. And you only get 3, so
yeah, I know.
If you want to use one on one of those, go for it, but I don't see it.
What is it?
The top 3 records, basically the top 3 records made Elder forward.
Gotcha.
Minus
Okay.
Psycho Circus.
Okay. All right.
Basically made with a lineup other than the original guys.
Yeah, not the original lineup. Gotcha. All right. So we got last. This was the hardest one for me.
Oh,
it was the hardest, but it also wasn't the hardest. It was the hardest, but it wasn't the hardest. But it was like this to me is the strongest 3 songs I think of the 3. We have Black Diamond, Strange Ways, and Rock and Roll All Night. And does someone want to start?
I'll start.
All right.
I'll start. Strange Ways, Black Diamond, Rock and Roll All Night.
Oh, Strange Ways 1? Number 1?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I fucking
Wow.
dude, that it's so good.
Yeah,
It's so
Well,
good.
he's also, but
better
just
than
keep in
Black
mind-
Diamond and Rock and Roll All Night.
Just keep in mind right now. Keep in mind right now. First of all, this is the only Ace Frehley would not put that song ahead of the other two songs. He
I don't
is
know
the
why
biggest
I would-
Ace.
I don't
I was
know
about
why-
to say you're talking to the biggest Ace Frehley mark on the planet. That's why that was.
I
But,
know. I'm sure we all love Ace, but man, I mean, come and
Oh.
that's crazy. And I also think "Strange Ways" is a bizarre closing track. Like, I'm shocked that they didn't sequence the album that "Let Me Go Rock and Roll" wasn't the last track. So
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Strange Ways is super heavy though, man.
Yeah, and that guitar solo, that
It's like
fucking guitar
Sabbath.
solo. Oh, and Peter's vocals. Fuck.
His vocals rolled on it.
Back to the Peter vocals. So, Mike, what do you think? What's your choice? We know Strange Ways. We know Strange Ways is going to be third because you just said putting the other two ahead. What do you have first?
I mean, of course, "Rock and Roll All Night" is their biggest, most iconic song ever. But to me, maybe because I'm a prog guy, I don't know. But "Black Diamond" to me is like the quintessential, like, Kiss epic. You know, like, to me, that's number one. If I had to pick a favorite Kiss song of all, it might be number one. So for me, it's "Black Diamond," "Rock and Roll All Night," "Strange Ways."
I agree with you completely. And maybe you brought the prog. I never really thought of it as a prog thing, but that might. I agree completely. Like, is "Black Diamond" the quintessential Kiss song? No, but it's my quintessential Kiss song. I love that song. And "Rock and Roll All Night" probably is the quintessential Kiss song. But I'm going with same exact as you. "Black Diamond" first for the same exact reasons, and "Rock and Roll All Night" second. So let's jump to Charlie.
I'm gonna go Black Diamond. And am I the only one out of all of us that listens to the first, the original track and let it go all the way to the end as it just slows to just nothing?
Yeah. Yep.
Dirge.
I love Black Diamond. Black Diamond is like what song has a levitating drum rise? Black Diamond.
Black Diamond.
And I'm going to say something about "Rock and Roll All Night," and maybe everyone will say, "Fuck that! No way." I think "Rock and Roll All Night" should start "Dressed to Kill" and not end it.
I agree.
I think it would have just been such a great opening track.
Yeah.
And then "Strange Ways," which I love that song too, but it's not it's not as good as "Black Diamond."
Right. Well, don't tell Izzy that.
That's why I did, because he left. So it's okay.
and "Black Diamond," once again, we got to give Peter vocal props. I mean, Peter was all over the first album.
Hell yeah.
All over it.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about Peter on the first album is his makeup. God, I hated that.
Well, Peter didn't do his own makeup in that picture.
Exactly. He did not.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, he's a little too clownish in that to me for my taste.
Right,
But yeah.
Roy, what do you think?
I'm going to go with Black Diamond first because I just love, for all the same reasons Charlie mentioned, but I love the live, thinking about them playing it live, like how their stage presence was for that and how that drum set levitated at the end of the day. And they're just smoke and fire, everything, you know what I mean? But I also love how it slows down at the end. It's so cool, And so there's one time I remember listening to it in the beginning, I would actually start to spin the record faster just to see if I can keep up with keep slowing down. I just love doing that, But that song to me is, I think, one of the best Kiss songs, and it still still makes me feel the same when I first heard it. Rock and Roll All Night, of course. How could you not? That song is fucking powerful, from hearing it from the first time, hearing it from Kiss Alive, actually it's the first time I ever heard it. Then I heard all these. Buying the Kiss Alive album is what got me to buy all these records. I didn't know anything about them yet, So I'm always gonna love that song for that reason. And Strange Ways, that'll be third. That'd be three. I love that song too. Not as much
Eddie.
as
Black Diamond's clear number one. I think we have to think again. We're probably all getting caught up in the live versions in our head, and with Black Diamond, what I loved when they did Black Diamond live, when Paul does the intro and there's times where live where he wouldn't play the soft part and he would like chunk out some heavy chords and then go back into it. I used to love when he did that. It was so cool. And then of course it all kicks in. So, but even in the studio version with Black Diamond, you know, what's interesting about this one is this is again where the live versus studio is so different, because Black Diamond is different how it ends, of course. And then Rock and Roll All Night is a radically different song live than studio, including guitar solo in live. Of course, live is the version that became the hit. But I go Black Diamond 1, and then I go Strange Ways 2.
Wow.
And I don't, again, a few things about Rock and Roll All Night. I mean, maybe it's just, I agree it's the quintessential Kiss song, but I'm so burnt out on it, it's not even funny. I can never hear it again. And also, if we're talking studio versions, the live version is so superior that I got to put it in the 3-hole with these 3 songs. So that's my order.
Yep. Ironically, once
Fantastic. Okay, guys, you talk amongst yourselves. I've been doing math this whole time. I'm going to keep doing math. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
I actually ran out of gas listening to the first Kiss album on cassette at the end of Black Diamond, and I was like slowing down as that tape part is slowing down. My luck. Well, okay, let's do this while he's adding up. Let's pimp.
Wait. I got a question. Along the lines of this, while we're stalling, which of the 3 records had the best album cover? Rank the album covers.
Oh man.
Ooh.
Hotter Than Hell.
Dressed to Kill 1 for me. Hotter Than Hell 2. First album 3. All right, I'm back to math.
I go Hotter Than Hell debut and Dressed to Kill.
I go first album, Hotter Than Hell, Dressed to Kill. Chronological.
I go Hotter Than Hell, Dressed to Kill, first album.
I Hotter Than Hell, first album, Dressed to Kill.
Yeah, because Hotter Than Hell had boobies on the back.
And different costumes.
Yeah,
why is
Hotter Than
Ace...
Hell? Hotter Than Hell, Dressed to Kill, first album is probably the order I'd go.
If you look,
I mean, that is iconic. That's like
it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's like Meet the Beatles or Queen 2, or you know, there's so many classic album covers where you just have the 4 faces like that.
But let me ask you this. So hold on. So I've seen what I believe to be outtakes from that session, right? And how they're all black and you can't see below their necks. Are they wearing all black, or was that brushed out? Like, what are they? Do anybody know that story? Because if you see the outtakes, the alternate versions, there's versions similar to that where they're wearing stuff that you can see. And I think just to make everything around them black, the shot was done, and then that was all blacked out. That's what it looks like.
I think it's photoshopped.
74.
It's a filter.
I'll tell you by far which has the worst back cover. I mean, how cheap that is.
Yeah.
They literally just like use the negative. Come on.
Yeah. But at the time, that might have been like groundbreaking, like be able to do that. I don't know.
You know what's cool about that cover? It's all embossed, like the Kiss lettering, like stuck up.
Yeah. Why is Ace wearing a silver dress on the back of Hotter Than Hell?
Because he's a space suit, you know. That was on Jandel.
I never understood that.
And Gene wearing a gray suit.
You know?
Yeah.
Gene wearing a gray suit.
On the back of Hotter Than Hell, Gene is wearing like something that looks like it would have been like an extra in Planet of the Apes.
I think those are Bob Bruins suits. Or no, actually, those are coin suits, weren't they?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Dress to Kill.
On Dress to Kill, yeah.
That's why they all look like small in them.
Yeah,
that's great.
I will say this: Ace's outfit for Hotter Than Hell might be my favorite Ace outfit.
Pizza box.
The front or the back? Because the front,
the front. Yeah,
that was his torso.
Yeah, the front.
A famous guy did those photos, right? Was it Norman Seeff?
Yeah, Norman Seeff.
And then in the back, that was like the first time they were all drunk.
And this one of Ace now, if people know their history, Ace was in an accident and this side of his face, he couldn't put makeup on, so you could only see right there. See the other side is there's no makeup on.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
cool.
Let's see if I turn it this way. Oh, there it is.
But that's not the hotter than hell shoot, because you could see both sides on the cover.
No, I think they did that. They
oh wow,
they split the image. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say these go to 11. Anyway.
Just going to the chat room really quick. Joel says Ace wore a dress because his miniskirt didn't look right with his boots. Sarah says miniskirts usually look amazing with boots. Maybe Ace could pull it off. David Corvus says Roy looks good in a dress too.
Yeah.
I do.
All right. I have results.
Let's hear it, Paul.
Do you
Thanks,
want to
Jay.
know individually what everybody picked? That's a curious thing. So let's just, before we do this, out of the three, Izzy, what's your favorite record of all of them?
Hotter Than Hell.
All right. Hotter Than Hell won 23 points to 19 to 18 for you. Roy, what's your favorite Kiss album?
Kiss. First album.
All right. The first album. Your Kiss won 23 points. Hotter Than Hell 21. Dress 16. Charlie, how about you? What's your favorite of the three?
Hotter Than Hell. But
Okay, your point wise, the first album beat it.
Yeah. I know.
How about you, Eddie?
Of these three, I'd probably say the first album.
The first one by a landslide. That's the only album that scored. Yeah, you had 25 and then 18 and 17 in order. And Mike, how about you?
Dress to Kill.
You had Kiss and Dress to Kill tied, 21 points each. Hotter Than Hell had 18. For me, Kiss was my favorite. Kiss they went in order for me. Kiss 22, Dress 20, Hotter Than Hell 18. Final tally, Kiss ends up with 132 points, Hotter Than Hell 118 points, and Dress to Kill 110. So they went in order. Kiss pretty decisively.
Wow.
But you know what, though? I think Ed had a good point. We are, maybe I am, viewing this from a live, so that's why I think I chose so many of those first albums.
It's impossible, as much as you try not to, it's impossible not to. It's impossible not to listen. Like for me, like with Parasite even, it's impossible for me not to listen to Parasite and think of the Anthrax cover or the live version of Black Diamond or whatever. It's just, it's how we're wired. Like it's physically impossible not to think of that. It's as much as you might try, it taints you.
Yeah.
But that's
all right. So
is anyone surprised by that?
I was basing it basically on the album because I love the songs on Hotter Than Hell, but it's my least favorite of the three for so many reasons, mainly the production. But you know, and the first Kiss album to me has all the classics. I mean, all, you know, other than a couple of them, they're all classic songs. But to me, Dress to Kill was a more complete studio album in terms of production, in terms of great songs. Not only the popular ones like Rock and Roll Night and She and Come On and Love Me, but also the deep cuts like Room Service and Love Her All I Can. So to me, I prefer that of the three studio albums.
And it's interesting because like on social media, when I was posting about this between the Metal Edge page and my personal page, a lot of people told me Hotter Than Hell was their favorite record. And I wonder if that's, and it's interesting because I get a lot of like metal guys that tell me Hotter Than Hell is their favorite record. And I don't know if it's because with the mix, it sounds a lot heavier. You know, it's interesting, but it's the same exact thing. That first album, man, it's stacked with classics.
Yeah.
I agree with you though, Mike. I think Dressed is a really complete album. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff there. And it's crazy that Rock and Roll All Night came off that third record, but not a lot of hits.
Yeah, there you go. Well, let's do this. We're rolling up on 2 hours. I know it's fucking late on the East Coast there. Charlie, why don't you throw out what anything you need to pimp, your socials, your coffee, anything coming up for Anthrax?
Anything. You know, pimping ain't easy. I don't know. Let's can we meet again next week and discuss what I'm pimping?
And we can rank it.
We can rank it.
We can rank what you're pimping, exactly.
The only thing I'm trying to pimp, I'm trying to get a vaccine.
So if anybody's got extra vaccine, hook them up.
Talk to Paul's guy.
Talk to Sebastian. Sebastian's on Twitter posting, "Can someone get me the vaccine? I need to get the fuck out of the house." That was
So you got nothing to pimp, Charlie. Nothing.
Yeah,
you got nothing.
You got nothing to pimp. Got nothing to pimp.
Actually, I have an art show coming up on March 20th here in Chicago. Come out to that. Go to my my store. Go get some coffee, and I don't know. This was fun. We could talk about Kiss all night.
I forgot that you're in Chicago.
I don't forget that. I'm freezing.
Yeah, that's why I got the fuck out of Minnesota. Mike, what about you?
Well, I'm just sitting home like everybody else, so no touring, obviously, but putting out a lot of albums. I just put out 3 albums with my prog band Transatlantic. We basically put out a double album, which is 100-minute song or 90-minute song, and then we put out 2 alternate versions of the album with alternate mixes and vocals and lyrics. So pretty unprecedented kind of idea, which was a lot of work, but that just came out I think last week. So that's Transatlantic, and then next month, the end of next month, I have the 3rd Liquid Tension Experiment album, which is me and John Petrucci and Jordan Rudess, my ex-Dream Theater bandmates, along with the legend Tony Levin on bass. And this is our first studio album in like 22 years, so it was a big reunion for all of us, and that's coming out the end of next month.
Are you trying to beat the Rudy Sarzo Bands I'm In record in the within like 3 years?
I got Rudy beat easy.
He's got Rudy crushed.
Actually, it's funny. I literally am just sending tracks right now to do a track with Rudy. Yeah, but
nice.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. But yeah, I mean,
Mike,
I've been doing a lot of the quarantine covers and stuff and fun stuff.
Yeah.
Mike, reminder: who's in Transatlantic with you?
Transatlantic is all prog guys that probably nobody watching would like, but it's Neil Morse, who I'm in like 5 bands with. Along with Pete Travis from Marillion, the bass player from Marillion, and Roy Nastold from the Flower Kings. So it's more of a prog rock kind of super group kind of thing. Right. Not anything related to anybody that would like Kiss. So
yeah, right. I know. I've been on Cruise to the Edge many times.
Exactly.
Oh, before we move on to Roy, any talk about doing a Winery Dogs, or is that kind of on the back burner now?
Well, there's a few other things on the back burner. I mean, I still have Sons of Apollo. I still have the Winery Dogs. I still have Flying Colors, but they're all kind of in limbo, until we could tour. It's kind of, we're kind of just waiting to see the next move. And also flying, all these bands I'm in, we're all spread across America. So unless somebody's willing to get on a plane and travel, it's difficult. Yeah. The LTE album, well, the Transatlantic album I did before the pandemic, and the LTE album I did during the pandemic, but we all came to New York and we quarantined and all that. So it's not that easy right now.
Yeah.
Right.
I get it.
So that's it for now then.
I get it. Roy, what about you?
I'm currently scoring a film. I can't talk too much about it. I can't really say much.
Right.
I'm actually working on a film score right now.
How long have you been doing it? Is that something you've been doing a long time?
I've been doing it on and off for like the past, 10, 11 years.
Okay.
I use a lot of modular synthesizers and some orchestral sample libraries. I just kind of mix that together.
Okay. And Eddie?
Wait, are you doing, Roy, is this for the revised version of Kiss Meets the Phantom, or is it a totally different project?
Maybe, man. I signed something. I can't say nothing.
All right.
Careful, Catman. He's serious.
Starring Spiro and Tommy and Eric.
Yeah, exactly.
Edward.
Every day, Trunk Nation, Sirius XM Volume 106, live 2 to 4 Eastern, replays 10 to midnight Eastern, Monday through Friday. And then there's a podcast, the latest one that's the podcasts are just rebroadcasts of an interview from my radio show, but there's one that will be of interest to Kiss fans that is up now. The most recent one, I did over an hour with Bryan Adams, and I asked him about writing War Machine, Rock and Roll Hell, and how Eric Carr wrote a song on Cuts Like a Knife, which I've never heard Bryan talk about. And what he talks about is crazy, because Bryan Adams to this day has never seen Kiss live, and he has had no idea until I told him that War Machine is like a staple of the live set for 40 years. And he said he wrote it with the idea of it being very thematic, and he could not believe that it was in their set pretty much every day since Creatures came out. So if you're not a Bryan Adams fan, I am, but if you're not, there is some great Kiss nuggets in there. So that's the latest podcast. But the radio show every day on Volume on 106, and those are the main things right now.
Cool.
Awesome.
Going to the chat room really quick. Brian from Chicago says, "Tell Mike Portnoy that my oldest daughter is married. Is named Kaylee. He will."
Oh wow, that's a flying. Well, Kayla is a Flying Colors song, and then Kaylee is a Marillion song. Yeah.
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 Wow.
All right, Gargano, you got anything to throw?
I mean, all my management clients have stuff going on right now, but I mean, the big thing right now, I mean, Charlie, can I say what you're doing?
Sure.
All right. So I'm working on a role-playing game that's equal parts heavy metal inspired Dungeons and Dragons. And
Paul and we role play.
Yeah. And Charlie and Carla are writing an original song for the vinyl. I'm doing a vinyl issue with the game, and it's really cool. So the first one's going to be a compilation album. The first track is going to be Charlie and Carla's original, and then there's a bunch of other bands on it. If you go to godsofmetalragnarok.com, you can see everything. And then the second album is going to be an instrumental score that's going to have different guitar solos on each one. So different people, like we've got a couple commitments already, but I just today started hitting up some of the best guitar players I know going, hey, do you want to do a solo? So it's a cool project. If you check out Gods of Metal Ragnarok, it's you could like through my socials, it's there, but it's a really cool thing. So we're in the last week of the Kickstarter. Maybe we might have topped 100,000 in Kickstarter revenue already now. Nice. So it's a cool project.
Very cool. All right, let me hit the outro music. Paul, are we gonna say what we're doing next week? Are we doing the Metallica Megadeth gimmick?
Well, now that you said it, let's do it.
All right, cool.
Pressure's on.
All right, here we go. It's which album?
Next week, it's going to be And Justice for All versus Rust in Peace.
Nice.
Ooh.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. So check in next week. Make sure you go to and subscribe to the YouTube, and you can watch these wonderful shenanigans and look at all our ugly ass faces, except for Charlie, because he's a beautiful man. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes, hit that subscribe button on Spreaker, and tell your friends. And, hit me up at Real Izzy Presley all the way across the board. This has been another fucking podcast. Metal Edge presents Drunken Summit. Kiss. God, we fucking love it. Thank you, guys. We'll say goodbye off the air in just 1 second. And my name is Izzy Presley. Don't forget, what I lack in talent, I make up for in cock.
Oh, speaking of war machines.